Story 1. This may be a basic answer, but these songs bring me to tears. Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. Dust in the Wind by Kansas. Especially Dust in the Wind. With the lyric "Nothing lasts forever, but the earth and sky." It reminds me of Christian Stoicism, where one of the main principles is that material possessions are not as lasting as the natural world and the heavens. I'm not a religious person, but it serves as a reminder that life shouldn't be limited to human-made objects and concepts. With Landslide, when you've lost someone, whether by death or lost connection, this idea of living a life without them reminds us of the scarcity in human relationships and how they impacted us. I'm sure you wanted a simple answer, but I tend to overly explain and analyze things. Story 2. Somewhere Only We Know by Keane. Beautifully composed, written, and executed. A fine example of how feelings can be conveyed through music. Story 3. I can't choose just one, but a few that come to mind are Fleetwood Mac Landslide, the Queen of All Everything, Elton John Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters, Claude Debussy Clair de Lune, Humphreys McGee You and You Alone, George Harrison All Things Must Pass, Grateful Dead, China Cat Sunflower / I Know You Rider, Live in Paris 1972. Story 4. Chester from Linkin Park singing One More Light at his final concert before he passed away is a poignant moment. You can see the pain in his expression, as if he was saying goodbye. Story 5. Aside from some well-deserved but predictable classics, such as Stairway to Heaven, Wish You Were Here, November Rain, Dreams, and My Immortal, I will include a few lesser-known tracks. Send Me on My Way by Rusted Root, The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel, Lorenzo by Phil Collins, Feeling Blue by Retrophile, We Are the World by various artists, Listen to the Music by the Doobie Brothers and various artists, I Talk to the Rain by Yuki Kajura, Light the Light by the Midnight Grand Orchestra, Rohan Theme by Howard Shore, King of Pride Rock by Hans Zimmer. Story 6. I read all the comments and I wasn't going to comment, but this question is haunting me. What makes a song beautiful? What are the parameters? I think Air on the G String by Bach is up there, definitely Sweet Bergamask by Debussy, and I can't go past Johann Johansson's IBM 1501, A User's Manual. Summertime from Porgy and Bess is, in my opinion, the greatest song ever written. The Sarah Vaughan version is worth a listen. But if I have to get into mainstream pop, In a Graveyard by Rufus Wainwright, Love of My Life by Queen, Golden Slumbers by the Beatles, Because by the Beatles, Joga by Bjork, Making Something Out of Nothing by Air Supply, Angel Eyes by Wet Wet Wet, All Through the Night by Cyndi Lauper, Father and Son by Cat Stevens, You Needed Me by Anne Murray, Alone by Heart, Anthem by The Clouds. Most importantly, I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston. I skipped over musicals, but I'm happy to delve into that genre if you'd like. Story 7. It might sound cliché, but I have to go with Claude Debussy's Clair de Lune. When I was little, my mom would play it on the piano at night. I would hide under the piano and feel the vibrations through the wood while she played. The melody felt like moonlight turned into music. Even now, it brings a wave of calm and emotion every time I hear it. The most beautiful piece of music I have ever experienced. Story 8. The Verve, The Drugs Don't Work. The Hollies, He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. Audioslave, I Am the Highway. Jimmy Eat World, Hear You Me. Avenged Sevenfold, So Far Away. Devin Townsend Project. Aicha. Opeth Soldier of Fortune. Story 9. Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen and the remake by Jeff Buckley, who passed away too young, is a beautiful song. I have always loved Indian Summer by The Doors. I could list dozens more. Story 10. In the Waiting Line by 07. The lyrics are more haunting than sweet, but her voice is enchanting. Some of the sweetest notes I have ever heard in a song occur at 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Story 11. From About 208 to 310 of The Great Below by 9 Inch Nails. Story 12. This cover of Fleet Fox's Blue Ridge Mountains gives me goosebumps every time. Truly evokes a feeling that I can't quite describe, like nostalgia and pain. It's very strange but so good. Story 13. I'm too lazy to scroll down and see if anyone posted this, but The Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd. No need for lyrics. That song resonates on a soulful level. Story 14. In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. Meditation from Face by Jules Massenet. Performed by Itzhak Perlman. Into the Mystic by Van Morrison. I'll Be Seeing You sung by Tony Bennett or Annie Lennox. Creep by Radiohead. Harvest Moon by Neil Young. Story 15. Imagine by John Lennon. I know he has a bad reputation now, but I struggle to hold back tears at how beautiful this song is. If aliens asked us to choose one song to represent humanity, I would choose this one. Story 16. Samuel Barber's Agnus Dei. The adagio for strings is good, but the vocal arrangement is much better, in my opinion. Story 17. I always thought Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton was significant. If you know the backstory of that song, it's quite impactful. Story 18. I'm a Cuckoo by Belle and Sebastian is staggeringly gorgeous to me. It's a beautifully written song that is perfectly executed, especially the way they add new elements as the song progresses. The remix by the Avalanches, featuring Japanese folk music elements, is also amazing. Story 19. She Used to Be Mine by Sarah Bareilles. What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish. I think it's in the way they are delivered, almost whispered to you, in their own words through their own pain. They are so real for that. Story 20. Jose Gonzalez Heartbeats. Such a simple, understated arrangement with almost whispered vocals. So delicate. Story 21. Tears Over Beers by Modern Baseball evokes a melancholic yet nostalgic feeling that resonates with me and significantly helped me during a challenging time last year. Story 22. The First Time I Saw Your Face. Roberta Flack's song reflects the deepening love my wife felt for me when we first met. That was in 1965, and she has been gone for 4 years now. The 12th of Never by Johnny Mathis also captures how I still feel. Story 23. The First 1 minute and 20 seconds of Death and All His Friends by Coldplay brings me to tears immediately. Story 24. Metallica Nothing Else Matters. Goo Goo Dolls Iris. Both songs will definitely play at my wedding in the future. They are so beautiful, and I can never get tired of hearing them. Story 25. Weird choice, but give it a listen. It's an early Renaissance secular Italian song. This particular performance by the Florentine early music group Ensemble Daedalus is hauntingly beautiful. Story 26. Here, There, and Everywhere by the Beatles. Writing lovely ballads was always a particular specialty of Paul McCartney, but that song is his crowning achievement in that regard. Even John Lennon referred to it as one of his favorites of all their songs in multiple interviews, even years after the band broke up. Rare praise indeed from him. In my opinion, it is completely deserved. Story 27. I could never pick just one. A couple that come to mind are Wild Horses and Moonlight Mile by the Rolling Stones, Just Breathe by Pearl Jam, Fix You by Coldplay, All My Tears by Ain Brun, and Light in My Eyes by The Last Revel. Story 28. The Air That I Breathe by the Hollies, Moonlight Mile or Soul Survivor by the Rolling Stones, America by Simon and Garfunkel. Story 29. Lord Huron, The Night We Met. The background vocals and the sadness of the song. Once Upon a Dream, Lana Del Rey. Lana's voice and the almost eerie instrumental are perfection. Religion, Lana's vocals convey deep emotion. Punish, Ethel Cain's vocals and the meaning of the song make me cry every time. Vienna, Billy Joel. I love the instrumentals, and the meaning of the song truly helped me through growing up. Story 30. The one that I was not expecting to hit so hard and lift my soul out of my body, only to slam it back in, was Peter Gabriel's 7-minute remixed instrumental version of In Your Eyes. Story 31. Queensryche, Silent Lucidity. Great song under the stars, campfire going and staring off into space. Story 32. Dear Mama by Tupac. People can criticize rap and hip-hop, but this song will always be cemented in my heart because of the emotion behind it. I will never be able to repay my mom for what she gave me. She is long gone, but I can continue to do my best. It won't be perfect, and it certainly is not easy. There is a reason I appreciate when someone elevates hip-hop and rap to another level. I was one of the few white kids in my neighborhood all the way through high school. I witnessed how differently people could be treated, both good and bad. I have seen the easier and harder lives people can experience. I will never place myself on a moral high ground regarding lifestyles, but I will encourage those I care about to do better. I will stand by them and speak out against what I see when it is appropriate. What Tupac expresses in this song resonates with me because I could have been in a similar situation to him and many others. Living in a lower-class area can drive people to seek a better life by any means necessary. Story 33, Lorna Shore, The Pain Remains Trilogy. Also, Disturbed Sound of Silence. Just hits different with David Draymond's vocals. Story 34, Vincent by Don McLean always resonates with me. The lyrics and melody together create a poignant tribute to Van Gogh. Story 35, Hard to Pick One, Something George Harrison. Into the Mystic Van Morrison. Keep Me in Your Heart Warren Zevon. God Only Knows, The Beach Boys. Great Gig in the Sky Pink Floyd. Maria Bernstein and Sondheim, West Side Story. The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, Roberta Flack. Story 36. One Day by Matisyahu is a song about peace, not only in the Middle East but also worldwide. It expresses a desire to end fighting and eliminate wars, envisioning a future where children can play freely. The lyrics carry a deep message of hope. Story 37. To Zeta, Nostalgia. Malatu Astaki, plus Tot Alexandra Strelitzky, a beautiful work of art. If you haven't heard either of them before, listen to it now. Story 38. Not a song but a composition music for a large ensemble by Steve Reich. All these years later, it's still lovely and releases happy chemicals for me. Story 39. Novil Biencha, Ludovico Einaudi. I always imagine the life cycle of a new love, romance, and its loss, but of a true love, the kind that connects with your soul. It is both happy and sad. Story 40. I Think It's Going to Rain Today by Bette Midler. Still to this day, it gives me goosebumps and a tear in my eye. Story 41. Pictures of You, The Cure. This Must Be the Place, Talking Heads. Take 5, Dave Brubeck. So What, Miles Davis. The Spuma Cafe Takva. Story 42. It's 3 a.m. I'm playing online poker, and VH1 is on the TV as background noise. This was my introduction to Johnny Cash's Hurt. I'm a huge fan of both 9 Inch Nails and Johnny Cash, so it was a significant moment for me. Story 43. Keep Me in Your Heart, Warren Zevon. Enjoy Every Sandwich. Story 44. In the Time of My Ruin, Frank Black. Back Down South, Kings of Leon. Rainbow Connection, Kermit the Frog. Modern Love, David Bowie. Do You Realize? The Flaming Lips. Fade Into You, Mazzy Star. Cosmic Love, Florence and the Machine. Turn Into Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Story 45. Pictures of You, The Cure. Heaven Help Us All, Stevie Wonder. Across the Universe, The Beatles, but I prefer the version by Fiona Apple. Story 46. I Will Say, as a grown man, My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion is a masterpiece. Honorable mention to Time to Say Goodbye by Andrea Bocelli and Sarah Brightman. Story 47. The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel. Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley. Harmonia's Dream by War on Drugs. It Depends on the Mood and What I Need to Hear. Story 48. Butterfly Net by Caroline Polachek builds up slowly. Sunset from the same album is good too. Wild Time and Andromeda by Ways Blood. Mariner's Apartment Complex by Lana Del Rey explores meaningful themes. Yosemite by Lana Del Rey is a great love song. Go or Go Ahead by Rufus Wainwright builds up effectively. Honorable mentions include Let's Go Out Tonight and other tracks by the Blue Nile, The Trapeze Swinger by Iron and Wine, Ivy/7 by Taylor Swift, Walking on a String by Phoebe Bridgers, No Reason by Big Thief, Miss Misery, Alameda, and Let's Get Lost by Elliott Smith, Devil in a New Dress. especially the Rick Ross verse. Night at Lake Unknown by Connor Oberst, Pink Rabbits by The National, and Jolene by Ray LaMontagne. There are so many I love. It's a cliche answer, but there's a reason why they are so well known. Hallelujah, Mystery of Love, 4th of July by Sufjan Stevens, and Video Games by Lana Del Rey. The Tom Odell cover really brings the lyrics out. Story 49, Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve. So Far Away by Avenged Sevenfold. The Climb by Miley Cyrus. Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. Story 50, Pachelbel's Canon in D and Time to Say Goodbye by Katherine Jenkins resonate with me in a unique way, even though I am not typically a classical music person. Story 51, I Think You Would Fall in Love with Me from the musical epic, and that unfinished song written by a Japanese 5th grader that describes summertime happiness. Story 52, I don't know if it's the most beautiful, but And Nothing Is Forever on the new Cure album makes me cry every time. Story 53, The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face, the best version is by Roberta Flack, followed by Paddy Riley. I do not personally enjoy Ewan McCall's original version, but I have great respect for him as a songwriter. Story 54, Take a Chance with Me by Nicki. The lyrics say it all. Why can't we, for once, say what we want, say what we feel? Story 55, Je suis Malade by Laura Fabian. Even though I am quite bored of it now, I firmly believe that this is the song everyone needs to hear at least once. Story 56, It Was Then That I Knew Life Is Worth Living. Story 57, It's a tough decision and kind of depends on the day. In the right moment, Ride the Lightning by Metallica is beautiful to me. Story 58, I have many choices, but for what it means to my life, Nightwish While Your Lips Are Still Red. Story 59, The Book of Love by Peter Gabriel. I dislike when television shows use that song because I cry every single time. Story 60, Into the Endless Night, Live, by Paranormal features a beautiful ambient synthesizer introduction that evolves into a captivating shoegaze trek. It then transitions into an intense noise segment lasting 7 minutes, followed by an ambient pop interlude that includes samples of people sharing their wishes. The piece concludes by returning to the shoegaze sound one final time before ending. Story 61, Back Home by A$AP Rocky, Duckworth by Kendrick Lamar, Lazarus by David Bowie, Bass Jam by Danny Brown, and St. Pablo by Ye. Story 62, The Way the First Time Ever I Saw Your Eyes by Roberta Flack is mixed into Cold Cuts. JDJ mix brings tears to my eyes every time. Story 63, Oh, That's Easy. Oi, Strawberry Cream can make me cry any day. Story 64, If I watch the Wacken performance of Nightwish's Ghost Love Score, I cry every time. Such an incredible vocal performance. Now We Are Free by Hans Zimmer. Time to Say Goodbye by Andrea Bocelli. Baba Yetu by Christopher Tin. All of these songs make me cry when I hear them. Story 65, Carry Me On My Way by James Taylor always makes me tear up. I also love Cat Stevens' version of Morning Has Broken. Story 66, Naima John Coltrane. Sunday Stephen Sondheim. Casimir Pulaski Day Sufjan Stevens. Either Way Wilco. Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story Lin-Manuel Miranda. Story 67, Stranger Things by Kygo. It was the first song I ever heard in a mental health hospital when I was 16. I was scared, and it calmed me down so much that the staff would play it when I got overstimulated. Nobody knew it at the time, but I am autistic, and one of my main sensory activities is unfortunately self-harm, so I required one-on-one care a lot. I am now 23, and that song is the first track on a playlist of 52 songs that can instantly regulate my emotions. Story 68, James Blunt's Monsters has gone viral again, but it was kept under the radar for a long time before American Idol. He is a talented songwriter. Story 69, I don't think it fits into the typical beautiful song category, but the song I treasure most is Paul Kelly's Meet Me in the Middle of the Air. It was played at my father's funeral, and I had never heard it until then. Upon hearing it, it felt like the most perfect song for him. There have been many times when I have struggled mentally, and this song comes on random playlists at the perfect time. I definitely hold it very close to my heart. Story 70. I can listen to some songs anytime, anywhere. Take Me Home, Country Roads. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Hotel California. Story 71. What immediately sprang to mind was Waterloo Sunset by the Kinks. There's something about that song that feels so British and nostalgic. Story 72. Ocean by John Butler changes slightly each time he plays it. I have seen it live 3 times, and it always transports me into a state of euphoria where everything feels okay and as it should be. Story 73. I can't watch this without feeling emotional, and I believe it would resonate with anyone, even if you're not from New Zealand. Story 74. I Believe I Would Choose If We Were Vampires by Jason Isbell. He is one of the best songwriters of all time, in my opinion. Story 75. Carrion. Hosier is my favorite, but I also love Saturn Sleeping at Last. To Build a Home, the Cinematic Orchestra. August, Taylor Swift, also The Lakes. Story 76. It is hard to choose just one, but the song A Child is Born by the Tony Rice Unit comes to mind first for me. Give it a listen. Story 77. Passion Flower by John Gaume. The man is a master at the guitar. The song was so beautiful that it made me cry. Story 78. I have 3 songs that immediately come to mind. Close to You by the Carpenters and Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. Story 79. Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. You Were Always on My Mind by Willie Nelson. Give a Little Bit by Supertramp. Story 80. There are many great songs on this list. Is and Kate Bush are both amazing artists. I would like to add a couple of songs across a broad spectrum. Coming Back to Life by Pink Floyd, although the whole album creates a certain mood. Agnus Dei by Michael W. Smith. Coyote Lullaby by Alter Ego. He Is by Ghost. Story 81. 15 Fathoms, Counting, Bring Me the Horizon. Most people probably won't know it, but it's such a nice instrumental. Story 82. There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, The Smiths. And if a double-decker bus crashes into us, to die by your side is such a heavenly way to die. And if a 10-ton truck kills the both of us, to die by your side, well. Story 83. Anything by Joanna Newsom is my favorite. Andrew Bird is also great, especially his covers of the Handsome Family songs. Story 84. Tears in Heaven is a beautiful song. When I listen to it while reflecting on the story behind it, I am often moved to tears. I must also mention Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It is truly beautiful. It was nearly edited out of the film because the studio feared that the scene where Dorothy sings it was slowing down the pacing. They wanted to get to Oz faster. Thankfully, it was saved at the last minute. Story 85. Surprised I've made it this far without seeing This Must Be the Place by Talking Heads. I personally prefer the cover by Sure Sure. Story 86. Carrion by Hosier. The Messenger by Linkin Park. Shock from Kala. Arson Ku Intizar by Zishon Ali. Story 87. Turning Page by Sleeping at Last. Are You Really Okay? By Sleep Token. I Will Follow You Into the Dark by Death Cab for Cutie. To Build a Home by the Cinematic Orchestra and Patrick Watson. Among others. Story 88. If I Believed Twisted. Without spoilers, it's about a man who has lost nearly everything and acts as the town pariah, while desperately trying to do good through science and reason. This song represents the moment when he allows himself to have hope again. I also highly recommend seeing the musical it comes from, which has a professional recording available for free on YouTube. Story 89. After Dark by Mr. Kitty. This song sends my soul to another universe. It's beautiful. It's sad. And it brings so many emotions. Story 90. One by U2. I was in high school when it aired. I don't know why, but I sat down and cried as it played. At that point, I actually didn't like U2. However, something changed, and now they are literally one of my favorite bands. Story 91. I'm surprised I don't see anything yet here for Switchfoot. The top one is You, followed by Only Hope. Both are from the same movie, but they still stand out to me as some of the most beautiful and moving songs I have ever heard. Story 92, 13 angels standing guard around the side of your bed. It is so beautiful. Though it has no lyrics and no real meaning, it is just creepy and beautiful for some reason. I heard that most of the people who came to this song did so when they were in a dark place. It was like a lullaby to them. Story 93. I can't believe that a song from an episode about a bear's obsession with a giant burrito is my choice. But here we are. Story 94. Orinoco Flow by Enya. Her music is the most beautiful this world has ever experienced, in my opinion. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.